Hey there, everybody. With Ruby Amethyst solidifying itself as the best deck in Lorcana yet again, and with the popularization of the Ruby Sapphire decks by people like Zephyr and Sky and Savage, I think that there's an opportunity right now in the metagame to punish people for playing those Ruby control decks with a more aggressive deck. And so that's what I put together here. It's an Aggro Flutesong deck that uses flute for reach and then just powerful aggressive characters to aggressively quest for lore and then draw cards with a whole new world to put games out. So yeah, I think this is in a really good spot right now, at least on the pixelborn ladder, where you can expect to face, about 40-45% of your games against Ruby-based control decks, and I think this deck absolutely crushes those while having some decent game and some other matchups as well. So yeah, let's run through the list. I'm playing 4 Lilo, 4 Piglet, 4 Mr. Smee as my super aggressive early game cards, and then Cinderella to sing songs, which has just always been a staple since set 2 in steelsong. And I'm playing a Shift Kita line, and I like this especially in an aggro deck because Kita can act as a nice finisher. You sort of build up a wide board while your opponent has a bunch of characters in play that would otherwise be able to challenge the ones you have, and then you play a Kita, which shrinks them all and allowing you to quest with like maybe 3 or 4 of your other characters safely. I'm playing 4 Ariel, obviously, as well as the Stitch Shift line as an additional draw engine, as well as a way to sing a whole new world. I'm trying 1 Rapunzel and 2 Stitch Carefree Surfer as just additional ways to draw cards in case we gas out. I put 1 The Prince in here. I had more of The Prince earlier, but I've slowly shaved the numbers for other cards. As far as the song package, 3 Bare Necessities, as well as 8 of the 3-drop steel removal spells, which are just very good with Cinderella and any steelsong deck in general. Bare Necessities is a little bit awkward with a whole new world, which is why I'm only playing 3 copies, but it is inkable, so it's never too bad. And then just 1 Grab Your Sword, because although Grab Your Sword has its moments, we are an aggro deck, so controlling the board isn't that important to us, and drawing multiple of this card is quite bad in this deck, so 1 just as a miser's copy to sometimes get people. Keep them honest, I guess, occasionally, and best of 3 if they see one. And obviously 4 copies of Sleepy's Flute for reach, because the Ruby decks cannot remove them ever, so you just sort of pull out to, like a 12-3 lore lead, put 2 Sleepy's Flutes in play, and it's like, you're just going to take your way to victory, and there's nothing they can do about it. A total of 17 uninkables, which is maybe a tad high, but certainly not a problem for an aggro deck, especially when 8 of those uninkables have the potential to draw cards. So yeah, that's the deck. Pretty simple, just trying to go wide early, quest aggressively, and close out games with Sleepy's Flute and a whole new world for card advantage. It's been really successful for me, actually. I'm over 70% win rate in Grandmaster, and this is just sort of like V1, V1.5 of the deck. So I think there might be some potential here, at the very least, as a meta killer for this specific metagame. But yeah, that's the deck, and let's jump into some games. All right, on the play versus probably a steelsong mirror, so probably a tough matchup is my guess. That's okay. Tricky to know what to keep. Flute might end up being important, but I don't like it in my opener. Man, Lilo is so bad in a lot of spots. I'm going to ship Lilo, keep just Cinderella, whole new world Ariel. Really looking for, yeah, let Storm Rage on. It's really what you want when you go first. And hopefully this can slow them down. But I guess they're definitely playing like a traditional steelsong list. Well, with Pluto, I guess. That's okay. We'll shoot Pluto. No problem with doing that. Then I think I want to empty my hand here. Try to sing a whole new world on turn 4. Simba. Okay, well, I think it's a bit greedy to go for the Shift Stitch line, because if we don't draw an inkable, then our hand is horrible. So let's do this instead. dock, yep. Looking for some good damage dealing songs off this whole new world, I think. So they might be playing like a Tiana Mufasa style deck. At any rate, we're just going to do this. That Bare Necessities could really come in handy. I'm kind of more afraid of the dock than I am of the Simba. In part because they're both 2/3s. So let's shoot the dock. And yeah, let's just go super wide and hope that the Bare Necessities can hit their one grab your sword next turn. If they have 2 grab your sword, I'm going to be in trouble. Oh, they're doing... I don't know what they're doing. I'll be honest with you. I guess that's there to hit off Mufasa. Okay, so they must have like a Shift Cindy in hand. I have a hard time seeing this play if you don't have a Shift Cindy in hand. And now we cross our fingers. I don't see a reason to sing it. I think I actually just want to quest with everything, so. Okay, so they have no grab your sword or really any removal at all. Okay, let's just quest out. I have no Kita in play, so I guess we'll put a Kita in play. And then just hope they don't draw grab your sword right off the top. Yep. Take out one Simba. I assume they'll hit the Lilo. Yeah. Maybe play Sad Beats looking for Grabber Sword or something. Just a Chernobog plus something else, probably. Fair enough. That makes sense to me. That's a pretty good draw. I think we were in pretty good shape here either way, but I was really hoping to find a lantern, but this will do. It's a good game. All right. So what to ink? Probably want to... May as well cantrip with my Lilo. Really what I want to do is find a lantern. So like just digging more, or excuse me, a flute. So just digging more cards is good. And there's the flute. So we should be pretty much guaranteed to win next turn. Basically the only way we wouldn't win is if they wheeled away here, but there's just no way they're going to play a whole new world. All right, not a bad way to win a mirror. Helps a lot to go first, though, that's for sure. When we go second, this sort of matchup is really, really tough. All right. All right, on the play versus Emerald Amethyst, likely the tempo deck. I think this should be a pretty favorable matchup just because I think we race them well, but I'm not entirely certain. I'm going to keep Cinderella, Ariel, Lilo as an aggressive card, looking for like a steelsong. No such luck, but that's okay. Can ink one of these 1-drops. Now the question is, do I lead on Lilo? And I think I do. I don't have a steelsong to sing, and I think that if they don't have a quick start or they have something like a Cursed Merfolk, I'll be glad that I put the Lilo in play. Or even Turnabog's followers, yeah. That, unfortunately, less good for Lilo. But okay, we'll put a Singer in play this turn, and then maybe we can have a big next turn. Would love to draw one Inkable. That would be ideal. Okay, yeah. If I could get like a Strength of a Raging Fire or something, that would be crazy. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So now we want to find a whole new world. We don't, but that's not horrible. We might be able to just tempo him out of the game. Haha. Tempo out the tempo deck. And it's not like they can play Foxman because they have nothing in play. And the Rafiki's pretty bad now that it just dies to the storm. And they have no sweepers, which is nice. It's one really nice thing when you're not playing against steel. So you just don't have to worry about going wide. Makes something like Kita in the late game much better too, because you can just build up a wide board. And even if they could challenge things down, then you wait till you get a Kita, play Kita, and then quest out. They can't challenge you. Ursula, yes. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the Ursula out. I actually don't see a need to. I just want to quest, I think. So I'm not even gonna sing the second one. Just keep going wide. Looking pretty good here. I have a tough time imagining any sort of set of cards that gets them out of this. I mean, I think their best play here is like Rafiki into Fox Mim, but even that's not going to be good enough. Kick Cloud Kicker? Yeah, it's just a little slow. And Rafiki still. Just a little bit slow, I think. Ah, nice quick one. They battle on, but I believe it is feudal. Alright, there we go. Okay, on the draw versus blue steel. This one's going to be rough. This one is going to be rough. I think... Yeah, I just don't want to start with a whole new world. It's kind of a liability. They kind of want a whole new world anyway. I'm going to keep Ariel, Cinderella, Stitch, Strength. Strength might be key to getting some lore pushed through in the mid game here. Think like, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and then Strength would be good. Or possibly 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop next turn with Strength would be very good as well. It's a decent way to get out ahead on board. Opponent is a really slow draw here. Don't think they have a lot of rush threats. I do think I want to go double 1 drop here. And if that's the case, maybe Mr. Smee is not where it's at. This makes our strength quite good. Mickey would be annoying, certainly worse than Fishbone for us here. Okay, they have the Fishbone. So they can play Grab Your Sword next turn, which means I probably do want to play this Bare Necessities. So we'll do so by singing. Okay, along came Zeus. They do have a Tinkerbell, which is going to be pretty good here. It's going to take out our Lilo. That's okay. We can shoot down the Tinkerbell with a combination of our cards, most likely. I say most likely, definitely. I'm gonna lead here, looking for an inkable, I think. Find one. We'll ink, play Lilo. And he concedes. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Well, maybe this deck isn't as bad against blue steel as I thought. You can have some pretty powerful draws that punish them for being slow. Let's see if we can pull one out on the draw. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop's definitely good. Ship the flute for now. I'd rather find other things. Alright, well, flute comes back. No problem. I have nothing missing with Cinderella, so Cinderella seems like a pretty easy ink at this point. Although, can sometimes find a song off Ariel. Maybe backup Stitches the first ink here. And I think it will be for me. So then the question is, what do I play? I guess Kita, it's the one I care the least about. That way if they have teeth. Looks like they're going to pick it up with a Mim. Yep. All good. So here, I like the idea of, I think, going double 1-drop. I want one of those 1-drops to be Lilo. Or, excuse me, I want one of those 1-drops to be Cinderella. Just because if I hit, like, Strength of a Raging Fire off my Ariel, it can do a lot of work versus whatever they have in play. I'll have 2 shots at a whole new world here. Okay, so they play Pinocchio, which is definitely annoying for me. At the very least, let the Storm Rage on should be pretty good too now off Ariel. Okay, so they removed my Kita, which means I don't really care that much about 5-drop Kita. And we whiff, which is disappointing. Now the question is, do we quest? I think I'm just going to stand pat. It's awkward, but I think the only thing that really punishes us is second Snake Mim to bounce this Pinocchio, which unfortunately looks like they may have. No, Fox. Okay, that's not as bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad. I really need to hit off this Ariel. Okay, we have that at least, but I need a song. It's not really the one I wanted. Yeah, I think we should hold off for 1 turn here on the wheel. Well, should we? No. I'm going to do it. I don't want to lose my flute. I hate losing the flute there, truly. But it opens up plays like this. Strength of a Raging Fire. And gets the Pinocchio out of their hand, which is nice. Obviously, it's going to draw them into like a Maui or something, potentially, but they already had one. And now I will quest here because they've got other threats they can attack anyway. So we're going to need to empty our hand quickly and get this flute in play, and then try to leverage flutes to push damage to close the game, I think. And hopefully they don't have a Maui here, or a Fox Mim. If we can dodge that, we might be in good shape. Okay, Queen's Castle is pretty annoying for us, for sure. But it is a pretty slow play, so I think we can race it. Especially if they don't have a 1-drop. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to be okay here. Access to 5 ink. How to spend it. Kita could be useful later. I'm going to start on Ariel. Okay, we hit a Bare Necessities. Don't necessarily want to play a Bare Necessities here. I think I'm just going to do this. Go as wide as I can and start questing. And then we can, next turn, we can drop Flute, play Bare Necessities, see what they're working with, or possibly just wheel. Just have to make sure we get aggressive so this Queen's Castle doesn't take us out. Like, if they just play Madame Medusa, I'm actually probably just going to, like, shoot it down, play Lantern, and then wheel. Having a good old think over there. Yeah. So I'm guessing I'll take my aerial, but who knows? Aerial down. All right. So I definitely need to play this flute. And yeah, I'm going to commit to the wheel play. I would love to find like another Bare Necessities. We do not. So the question is how much to commit here. I think I'm just going to commit one more 3-drop. It punishes them really hard for not having Be Prepared, which they probably do since we have been unable to hit one so far. But it also doesn't, it's only one threat, and it's an expensive one. So, okay, here we have to go wide. And I think I am going to ink. I'm hoping they don't have second Be Prepared. Second Be Prepared is going to get us probably, but it's like, if they had 2 and 7 cards, or I guess technically 9 cards, then so be it. Bad luck. They're thinking way too hard for someone who is to Be Prepared. Pinocchio. Yep. They're gonna Maui down my Kita, of all things? That seems crazy to me. Let's shoot Rafiki. Yeah. Let's do that. Get another Storm Rage on. Activate. Let's ink the Piglet for next turn. As much lower as we can. We still have to race this stupid Queen's Castle. Maleficent. Yeah, that's scary. It's an okay spot, though. Because we can finish this off. Yeah. Do this. Ink here. And they're gonna have a tough time finishing us off, and this this flute will get there. They can go to 16, but they're not gonna be able to bounce their way to victory. Hey, thanks for watching. I had a pretty good run while recording, but I do think those games overall are pretty indicative of what the deck can do. Certainly, I think that it crushes Ruby decks, so if you anticipate a heavy Ruby meta and perhaps a light Steel meta, then it's definitely going to be a reasonable choice. Overall, I think that the deck has some decent legs in the format in general, especially at a time like now. Like, even the Steel decks now are playing 3 or even 2 copies of Grab Your Sword, which really opens the door for an aggressive deck like this to function. And a Whole New World actually gives you quite a bit of draw power, which means you can sort of empty your hand and not worry about gassing out because you can just get a full hand whenever you want it. And Flute, I think, is a really nice way to get some reach at the end of the game. Overall, yeah, I've had some success with the deck. I think I might continue working on it in the future. I know that Rapunzel and Surfer Stitch were not super great while I was playing them. Surfer Stitch in particular is difficult to use because we're not playing Lantern, so getting to 7, especially as an aggro deck, is kind of difficult. So going forward, I would probably cut the Surfer Stitches for something like Wendy Darling just to fill out the 2-drop slot a little bit. But yeah, overall, I think decent choice. Certainly some improvements to be made. I know the shift line, as far as Kita is concerned, could easily be like 4 of the Queen and Big Queen, or even Robin Hood and Shift Robin Hood. Overall, I felt like Kita was the best option, especially in the games that I didn't record. That said, I could easily see either of those 2 shift lines being just as good. Yeah, thank you again so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you next time.